Well, we met. It was actually a blind date. My best friend was dating his cousin, and it just went from there.
Yeah, Adams Morgan, we bar hopped, and it was cool. Didn't really think it was gonna lead to this. She wasn't really feeling me like that. She wasn't really into me.
I don't think so.
Nah, you wasn't.
I'm just quiet, so I wasn't giving him the vibe that he normally gets from females. I was pretty just kind of chill, so that's why he thought that. My first thought when I saw him was, I thought it was. I mean, he wasn't really my type, only because I could tell like the background differences. You know what I mean? So I knew he was kind of like a street dude, I guess you could say. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Yeah.
Well, my first thoughts was, I was like, probably the same way she is, no edge, she a little nerdy to me.
Yeah, we're total. I mean, it was apparent that we were like total opposites. Like if we had met, like if it weren't like set up, then we probably would have never approached each other or crossed paths. It was pretty obvious of that. So I think I went on the second date because I don't know. I mean, we had fun.
Yeah, we had fun. I mean, I guess I was persistent. I kept forcing it, calling, and Jennifer isn't like a talkative person. She don't talk. So when we first started trying to get to know each other,
we were texting.
And I can't text. I'm like, man, I can't do the texting thing. So I was gonna call her, and she was nervous about me calling her.
Yeah, he texted me. He was like, "Can I call you?" And if nowadays you just text people, you don't really get on the phone. So I was like, "What?" Like I don't know. I was like, "Right now." So I had to kind of like prepare myself, and then he called, and it was just weird.
Jennifer is the boss. Jennifer is the boss over everybody in the house. Everybody just fall in line. Whatever Jennifer say do, that's what everybody do, basically.
I mean, I'm the only female too, so I mean, I have to kind of,
That's
hold my ground.
Basically how it is. I go to work, bring home the check, and that's it. There it is.
I think because we're so different, it works because, I mean, like we introduce each other to different things that we wouldn't normally, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
before I met him, I never made cornbread or anything. Now we always have cornbread. I know that's crazy, but and so the kids are all like, "Mom, this is good." And it's just funny because it's like you can tell like the differences, like because I'll do like casseroles and things that he doesn't eat, and then so now it's kind of like we kind of like introduce each other. You know what I mean? Like to different things. So it's pretty cool. Like I took him to the farmer's market. He didn't want to go, but it was fun. He liked it.
Yeah, it was
so
cool.
We just, So I knew I loved him once I saw him with his son. You know what I mean? And to me, that I don't know. I could tell that he loved his son like nobody else in the world. You know what I mean? And that to me that was important. You know what I mean? And he took on my two children, as his own. And then now we have one together. So, he's just a great father. And that's probably one of the most reasons that I love him the most.
For me, what I grew to appreciate was the mental, challenge that she gave me, on a regular basis. Jennifer just challenged me all the time to just be better, person, dad, whatever. So that was one of the things that stood out to me. That was, Jennifer has this thing where before I was here, it was just her and the boys. So Jennifer is, like I said, she's the boss. So a lot of times she could get overwhelming with the being the boss sometimes, you know. But it's cool. I don't mind it, you know. But certain times it can get under my skin a little bit. Yeah.
But when I speak because I feel like something needs to be said, though. That's my thing. I don't just nag and nitpick. If something's on my mind and I feel like I need to bring it to your attention, then that's what I do, you know?
Yeah.
So.
All the time.
The thing that annoys me the most about him is the fact that I think that he thinks too much into things. I think he overanalyzes everything. Like when you guys came in, he's very protective of his family, and to go from where he was living to go from here, that's my main thing. He always thinks that he's just overly prepared, I think. You know, he thinks the door needs to be locked all the time. You know, it's just the cars need to be locked. You know, he's just overly aware of everything. Right. He just thinks that, I don't know, that just annoys me a little bit.
I mean, it's crazy. You never know. You know, things happen all the time, man.
Yeah, it's like the door can't even be open. Like I was taking groceries in, like just leave the door open. You know, it's just.
They don't allow us to have, you know, what you call it, a storm door, a regular screen door in there. So I'm used to, you know, I grew up with my grandmother. There was a bunch of us in the house. Grandma got the front door open, but we got a screen door. But then you get to the point where it's like, you don't leave the door open. You leave the door open, and where I was growing up at, you get something thrown at you, yelled at, chased out. It was a no-no. You know, so it's instilled, it's like embedded in me.
I can go to the store 2 minutes away and leave the door unlocked, and I feel like that's okay. But him, it's like you can't even.
No.
I mean, in a way, his cautiousness is better for us, because I feel like where I lack as far as not being aware of my surroundings, or, you know, being a little bit careless, he makes up for it. You know what I mean? Especially because we have children. You know, so, and then when we go to areas where I do need to be more, where I'm not as much as I should be, I know that he always, you know, has our best interest. And if I don't see it, he'll see it. That's for sure. You know what I mean? So.
Seeing her interact with my son, you know, and then seeing her give birth to my son. Those are special times for me. I don't think you always come across somebody that's going to embrace your kids the same way as you, and she definitely did. That did it for me. She was being a mom. She was being a protector. She was being a nurturer. She was being exactly what a strong woman's supposed to be. I was kind of getting on my son. He's the oldest. He's 15, so I could be a little hard on him at times. And that was a particular time where she really stepped in and, you know, made it a cool situation. You know, it was going left with me and my son. So she really, you know, she did, and he loves her. He got her in his phone as stepmom, and you know, so.
I think I knew he was the one, like I said, with the kids. I mean, just because your kids are a part of you, so anytime somebody takes on your kids as their own, you know what I mean, and shows them love and affection, you know, as you would. I mean, I think that opens your eyes to a whole nother level. You know, he takes, you know, he goes to more practices than I do. You know what I mean? He's at all the games. You know, if I'm not there, he talks to all the moms and the coaches and the dads, and I just sit there. I don't really talk. I'm not social, so I don't really, you know, they coming in, they're like, hey, and then I'm just like, hey, you know what I mean? So it's just good to have him there and, you know, be involved in, you know, in aspects such as sports and stuff that I wouldn't typically, you know, do myself or do as good as he would, I guess. So.
Well, I definitely need to have more patience, you know. and that's what this thing is just patience. Like when you're dealing with kids, and you know, especially younger kids, you have to have patience. So Jennifer has all of the patience in the world, you know, probably to a fault sometimes, but she's definitely showed me a lot of it. I gotta have patience and a calmness, you know. As you can see, she soft spoken and calm. I come from a rowdy environment, you know, where everything is, you know, rowdy. Everything going on around you is 50 people outside on the street, and so she definitely teaching me how to be more just calm. Even the way, you know, like I speak, just generally just talking can be loud, you know, and she'll be like, man, you loud.
The thing I've learned most about myself, like you said, just us coming together and being so different, and me being here and being the only head of the household, you know what I mean? I kind of learned that I have to kind of fall back as far as, you know, sharing the role with someone else as opposed to just myself, you know what I mean? And coming to him when we have issues and not necessarily just handling on my own, you know what I mean? Like kind of just sitting down with him and saying, okay, well, this is the issue. What do we need to do, as opposed to just doing what, you know, how I would do it if I were, you know, on my own and by myself. So that's probably the hardest thing. Well, probably what he would say. Because I mean, that's just me, because when you're used to being a single parent and, you know, handling things on your own, and then having someone else come in, you know, you have to kind of learn to hear what they have to say and their input, as opposed to just, you know. So I'm still learning that.
I mean, Jennifer, like, wasn't, or should I say, always haven't been in tune with with her culture, you know, all the time. So with me coming in, and I get her on certain things that she, you know, TV shows that she wouldn't normally watch, uh, certain comedians that she wouldn't normally be into, you know, cornbread. Yeah, yeah, things like that. I mean, and then like you say, the boys is, you know, everything. I'm constantly talking to them about, you know, how to be out here as a black man, and you know, growing up as young black men out here, how we have to, unfortunately, how we have to, you know, abide or um, uh, treat ourselves, you know, out here. That is really important to me.
Sorry. Just, you know, having black boys, you know, in society and everything is hard, and we have 4 of them, you know. I worry about them, you know, because you can tell them all of the right things to do, and at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. You know, they're still going to be labeled, you know, they're still going to be approached, you know, they're still going to be reprimanded, they're still going to be labeled. It just, and we have 4, you know what I mean? So, and we sit them down and we talk to them about it, but I feel like they get it, but at the same time, they're still children and they really don't get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's like I say, it's something that I constantly talk about in here. You know, and like it's unfortunate that you have to have those conversations with your 8-year-old and your 12-year-old, and you know, you feel when they shouldn't even be thinking about, you know, conducting themselves, how they got to be around, You know, they can't be children. You know, they don't even get the benefit of the doubt. You know, so I tell them all the time, as black men, we can't afford to make any mistakes. We have zero mistakes to make, because that one mistake you make can, you know, be it, unfortunately. Hopefully in 20 years we are in a better home and a bigger and bigger bank account, and, you know, things is just better than what it is now. So, you know, that's what we look back on, the struggle, you know, the struggle it was to get to wherever we would be in 20 years, you know, and hopefully it'll be a good place.